I'm Sulakshana Vadmari, and today we will learn about properties of substances here. Now, look around yourself. You can see many things around us. Means like TV, then table, then also plates, and even while studying we use pencils, notebooks, erasers. Also we drink water. Our mother used to cook, means our mother uses oil to cook the food. Means we can see different things, and also we can feel the air, but we can't see the air. So how can you categorize these substances? You will see that many of the things from this are solids, some are liquids, and some are gases. So today we are going to study the different states of substances. So now let us have a look. So actually there are three states: solids, liquids, and gases. Also there is one more state known as plasma state, but you will learn about the state, means you will learn about this state later on. This is not in your syllabus now. So let us write. First state is solid state. Here we can write the examples, just like the TV, then books, table, chairs, etc. Second state we have liquid state. Here we will write oil, water, ink, petrol, etc. And third state we have gaseous state. Here we can write air, then different gases. For example, we inhale the gas known as oxygen, we exhale the gas which is carbon dioxide. So we can write that also. Oxygen, then carbon dioxide, etc. Now, what is the idea? Means what is the concept behind having this different state? Actually, state of any substance depend on energy content of the substance. Now, what is this energy content? Actually, as you know, at room temperature means suppose the temperature of the surrounding is 25 or 27 degree. For this particular temperature, all the substances carry some amount of energy, and because of that internal energy, this is also heat energy they have. So because of this heat energy, they have different states. For example, at normal room temperature, the iron is in solid state, whereas the water is in liquid state. And when water is converted to solid, we call it as ice. Means water is having higher energy than the ice. Temperature decreases. Because of decrease in temperature, its energy also decreases. Means the ice has lower energy than the water. So these states, means we can see these states because of energy content of the substance. So let us highlight this point. State of a substance depends on its energy. Now I will explain you with this example. Suppose take some ice from the freezer. Suppose I have this ice. I'm taking this ice in a suppose like a bowl. So this is ice. after some time you will see that this ice will be converted into water like this. Why this happens? This ice absorb heat energy or heat from the surrounding atmosphere, and because of increase in its energy it gets converted into water. Now what you will do, you just have to heat this water. So I will draw this symbol. This symbol represents that heating process is taking place here. So now I will heat this water, and you will see that after some time this water will start evaporating, and after some time the water will vanish from the bowl. So this is water vapor. So we can see these are the different states: solid, liquid and gaseous state. Means because of increase in energy, the substance changes its state depending upon the energy. You can reverse this process also. Now if you must have seen this at home while your mother is cooking. If suppose you have water in a pot and it is boiling, but you are placing one plate on it, so you will see that when you will remove the plate and let it cool, you will see that small droplets are there on the plate. So why this happen? Actually, I will draw it for you. Suppose this was the pot. Here you had water and you was heating this, and one plate was here. So water vapor will touch the inner surface of the plate, but after when we put off the gas, what happens? The plate will cool first, and because of low temperature the vapor will receive that low temperature, or we will say that the water vapor will donate its heat energy to the plate, and so that its energy get lower and it get converted into water again. So that is the water we can see on the surface of the plate. Means we can see vapor is again converted into water. So similarly here, suppose this water vapor we will condense the water vapor, it will get converted into water again. If we will place this water into freezer, it will get converted into ice. Means we can say that we can change the state of a substance by providing the energy or removing the energy. So solid get converted into liquid when energy is provided or heat is provided. Liquid gets converted into gaseous state when heat is provided. Again, I will reverse the thing. When heat energy is removed, the gaseous state or gases get converted into liquid, and again if we are going to remove the energy again, the liquids get converted into solids. So here we will write it: solid when heated gets converted into liquid. Liquid again when heated gets converted into gases, and this phenomena will reverse when we will cool the substances. We used to keep the naphthalene balls in the cupboards. So after some days we see that the size of the balls becomes smaller or the balls vanishes. So you can see in this process the solid balls are directly converted into gaseous state. So this process, the process of converting solids into gaseous state directly is actually the process of sublimation. Here we can take another example also. We used to burn camphor balls while doing prayers to God and all. So you can see in that process also, camphor directly get converted into the gaseous state. The in between state is not there, means it is not converted into liquid state. So here this process is known as sublimation. So this you will study later on, but this is just for the sake of information. So actually means we can see at a particular temperature solids are converted into liquids, and at particular temperature only liquids are converted into gases. Means the temperature at which these processes are happening have the typical names. So let us see. So let us study these particular temperatures at which solid get converted into liquid or liquid get converted into gases. The temperature at which solid get converted into liquid state is the melting point of a substance. Similarly, the temperature at which the liquid get converted into gaseous state is the boiling point of the temperature. So let us write, and I will give you some examples also. First we have melting point. It is also known as MP in the short form. So it is, let's write the definition. The temperature at which solid get converted into liquid is called melting point. For example, ice get converted into water at 0 degrees Celsius. So 0 degrees Celsius is the melting point of ice. Then iron get converted into liquid iron, means it get melted at, you will not believe, it is very higher temperature. It is 1535 degree Celsius. Means for, we can say, every metal we can melt it by heating it at very higher temperature. So these are the melting points. Now let us write about boiling point. It is also written as BP, that is boiling point. So let us write down the definition. The temperature at which liquid get converted into gas is called boiling point of that substance. Again, let us write the example. Now, when you heat the water, one temperature will arrive at which water will start converting into water vapor. So this temperature is actually 100 degrees Celsius. So it is boiling point of water. Water get converted into vapor at 100 degrees Celsius. So 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point of water. And again, this melted iron will also start evaporating at temperature 2000 2750 degrees Celsius. Means we can convert iron into iron vapor also. So let us write melted iron will get converted into vapor form at 2750 degree Celsius. You can see this is very highest temperature. We can't obtain this kind of temperature at home just by heating the iron at on the stove of the gas and all. Actually, this temperature is obtained in big instruments, in the industries. Actually, they can obtain this kind of temperature. So here we studied the melting point and boiling point of the substance. You can see another phenomenon known as evaporation. Means after the shower of the rain, you can say after some time the roads are dried up. Means we can see we are not heating the water which is on the road. So how the water vanishes? This process is known as evaporation, and evaporation is a process in which liquid get converted into vapor form at any temperature. But this phenomena is surface phenomena. Means for example, take one flat plate and put some amount of water in it and put just outside your home in the sun rays. So you will see that after some time the water level will decrease, and also again after some time the water in the plate will vanish. So we are not heating it, but because of the sun rays or because of the heat of the sun, the water will evaporate, its energy level will increase, and slowly the water will decrease. Here I will show you. Suppose this is the plate that you are taking. You will see that suppose this is the water inside the plate. So suppose I am holding that plate. So whatever is the surface area of the water, only at that surface area this evaporation process will start. Suppose I will show you by this. Suppose this is one pot. So suppose this is the surface. So there are particles on the surface of the water and there are water particles inside the pot, like this suppose. Now what will happen when these particles receive heat energy from the surrounding atmosphere or from the sun rays, we can say, these particles, means this particle will absorb the energy, and because of increase the energy, these small particles which are on the surface of the bowl or on the surface of the water will get converted from liquid to gaseous state. Means they will leave the liquid like this. So now first layer means surface particles are converted into gaseous form. Again the particles which were below this layer will come up next, and again the process will repeated. So we can see layer by layer our water level decreases. So this is the process of evaporation, and evaporation can take place at any place. ideas here. What about the state of LPG that we are using at your home? So you must know that the LPG, it is liquid petroleum gas. Actually it is gas, but when it is filled inside the cylinder, it is filled under higher pressure. So because of pressure that it is the pressure is applied on the gas gets converted into liquid. So actually inside the cylinder, that LPG in the liquid state, means LPG is in the liquid state, and when we just open the knob, slowly the pressure is released. So because of lower pressure, this liquid state gas get converted into gaseous state, and that we use for the cooking. Similarly, if you want to try this phenomena, I'm trying to tell you, when we increase or decrease the pressure of the substance, state also changes. For example, you can try this activity. This is very simple activity. Take 2 ice cubes from the freezer and hold the 2 ice cubes on one each other in this way. Suppose this is the first ice cube. Now what you will do, take another ice cube, put on the first one and press it. What you will see, for the fraction after the fraction of time, the 2 cubes will combine and you will get the longer one ice cube. How this happens? Actually, what happens here, the surface between the 2 ice cube, when these 2 surfaces touches each other and we are applying the pressure, so because of pressure which is developed here, the solid ice at this surface get converted into liquid. So after some time, we will say that water is formed here, like this. You will have water here, and when we remove the pressure, again the temperature decreases. So this water again gets converted into ice, and because now there is no space in between, these 2 ice cubes get combined and we have the single ice cube here. So this is the example. When we increase or decrease the pressure, the state of the substances changes. When we increase the pressure, the substance for example, the example that I have given for LPG, we were increasing the pressure on the gas. So because of increase of the pressure, gas gets converted into liquid. Similarly, here liquid is converted into, you can see this liquid is converted into solid when we release the pressure. So by increasing the pressure, liquid get converted into solid. By increasing the pressure, gases get converted into liquid. Similarly, we can change accordingly, we can increase or decrease the pressure if we want to change the state here. Now let us talk about the next process. This is the process of distillation. This is very simple phenomenon that you can perform at your home also, or you can perform it at laboratory in your school. Here one experimental setup is shown. You can see I have one round bottom flask here, which is it is put on iron gauge, this is net like structure, iron net you can say, which is fitted on the tripod, or we can say the stand, below which one burner is there. In the round bottom flask, we have solution of common salt in the water. Then we have 2 holded rubber stopper here, having thermometer in one hole and the bent glass tube in another hole. You can see this bent glass tube goes to condenser. This is the condenser here, and again the pipe comes out into the mouth of the beaker. So now let us see what is condenser actually. So condenser is actually the pipe of glass only, but the outer one have the wider diameter than the inner one. So what happens, we can pour the cool water from one end and we can remove it from the another end. So let us see what is going on here. You will start heating the solution. You will see that when the temperature of the solution reaches to 100 degrees Celsius, slowly your water will start evaporating. This water vapor will come from bent pipe and it will go to condenser. Now what is the work of the condenser? The name itself suggests it cools the water. Means here is water vapor, but we are pouring the cool water here. So this will decrease the steam temperature of the vapor here, and this steam will get converted into water, and here you will get the pure water. So this process is known as distillation process. What is the outcome of this process? Here you will get pure water. It is totally pure water. No impurities are there, and also the salt which had in the solution, which it will remain here only. This is a simple process you can perform at your home also, but for that process no need of heating. Just take the solution, means salt solution, in the plate and keep it in the sunlight. So you will see that after some time the water will vanish and you can see the white layer in the plate. That white layer is nothing but the salt. So this is the process of distillation. Now you must have seen or you must have heard about salt pans. Means at that particular place the seawater is used to obtain the salt that we are using daily. So what happens there? Actually the salt pans are the big surfaces like square surfaces or cubical surfaces. On that seawater is stored. So after some time water get evaporated and salt remain at that place. So for that particular phenomena evaporation process is used, and here we are using the process of distillation. Remember that two processes are different. Evaporation is different and also distillation is different. So these processes we can use to obtain pure drinking water, and also we have wide number of applications for this particular process. I guess you have to draw this diagram in your notebook. From this, in the school your teacher will ask to draw this diagram. You pay attention that you will draw the neat and clean diagram, and also keep in mind all the labeling you have to do on the right hand side of the diagram. Don't label on the left hand side, or any one side you can take, but it is better to label on the right hand side and see that all the instruments in the diagram are neat and clearly drawn, so that your teacher can see that properly. Now let us move toward our next topic. Now let us start with fractional distillation. Actually it is also distillation, but why it is fractional, you will see that here one instrument is shown in which you have different outlets. I will explain you one by one. Here actually you are taking the crude oil, means we are performing fractional distillation of crude oil. So suppose crude oil is here, then this particular furnace is heated, and when you start heating, the first thing that will come out from the crude oil is petrol. Actually you get petrol at 40 degree to 70 degree Celsius. So this will get evaporated and come here, and definitely it will at the means intermediate state, we can say it will be semi-liquid and all. So we can collect it from the first second outlet here, so that we can see it is written petrol 40 degree to 70 degree Celsius. The second thing which will separate from the crude oil is naphtha, which we will obtain at 100 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Celsius, and we can separate it from the third outlet here. Then similarly at higher temperature say at the temperature of 190 degrees Celsius to 250 degrees Celsius, you will get kerosene. Then go higher at 250 degrees Celsius to 300 degrees Celsius, you will get diesel. And for the higher temperature, we can get other substances which are present in the crude oil from the temperature 300 degrees Celsius to 400 degrees Celsius, you can see. And the last two compartments, from the last two compartments we will get residue, but from the higher column we will get mineral oil here. So you can see we can separate many useful substances that we are using in daily life from the crude oil. So this is how crude oil is actually a raw material which is obtained from mines. Then again it is refined and refined again and again by using this process, and what we obtain is petrol, kerosene, diesel. You know that these are very useful fuels that we are using at home, in vehicles, and also in factories also. So this is the process of fractional distillation. Means we are performing distillation but at different temperatures and at different stages, so that we can separate each and every substance. But point is, we can separate these substances because these substances have different boiling points. Means we can say at the boiling point, means at the temperature of 40 degrees Celsius we get petrol. So we can say boiling point of petrol is between 40 degree to 70 degree, and so on. So this fractional distillation is very useful process, and by using this process we can separate many substances. So now at this particular stage your chapter is over, and let us revise the topics here. In the first stage I have explained you the three states of a substances: solid, liquid and gases. One more state I have mentioned, it is plasma state. Now after that I have explained you how the states are converted, means how we can change the state of a substance from solid to liquid and again liquid to gases. After that we have performed the process of distillation, and also before that I have explained you what is boiling point, what is melting point, and also the process of evaporation and the process of sublimation. Now the process of distillation was explained, and also here we have seen the fractional distillation. As you can see, this is smaller topic, means smaller chapter, but these two diagrams, this diagram and diagram of distillation, are very important diagrams you have to draw, and these diagrams are asked in the examination for 2 to 3 marks depending upon your school. So you have to practice those diagrams. Now let us solve the exercise that you have. Let us solve the exercise now. First question you have: define melting point, boiling point and distillation. Here I will explain you one by one. Melting point: the temperature at which solid changes into liquid is known as melting point. Here you can also write the example. The melting point of water is 0 degrees Celsius, and the melting point of iron is 1535 degrees Celsius. Again, the boiling point: the temperature at which the liquid changes into gaseous state is known as boiling point of that liquid. Here also you can write the example. The boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, and the boiling point of iron is 2750 degrees Celsius. Again, distillation. Here we have studied the long process. So in short you can write, it is a process in which liquid is heated until its boiling point, so that it gets converted into vapor, and again by using the condenser it is converted into liquid state. So this process is known as distillation. So here you will write it, or you can write example also. The solution of common salt and water is separated by the process of distillation. Then next question, question number 2, I have not written here because it is very simple. You have to draw the diagram of the process of distillation that I have drawn on the board that you have to draw. Then third question you have, give scientific reasons. First question in this is, a condenser has 2 taps. Now if you remember the figure of condenser, we had inlet and outlet. Now what is the function of condenser? Condenser actually cools the water vapor or whichever steam is there, so that it get condensed, that means it get converted into liquid state. So we will write it as through the condenser, cold water is circulated, so that the steam or vapor inside the pipe will get converted or will get condensed into liquid state. So that's why the condenser have two taps for circulation of water, means we will pour the water from inlet and we will take it out from the outlet. Next question we have, at dawn in winter we see dewdrops on the leaves of trees. This is very common phenomena. See, in the winter the nights are very cold, so as the temperature decreases, the water vapor holding capacity of air also decreases. So what happens in winters, because of very lower temperature, this water vapor get converted into water, and this is the water that we can see on the leaves of the trees. So that's why we see dewdrops on the leaves of the trees in the winter. So this is the answer. The next question, in the next question you have matched the column. So here I have written answers directly. I will just explain you why. Melting point. So definitely this is a process of converting solid into liquid. So here we will write change of state from solid to liquid. So this is the correct answer. Boiling point, again this is the change of state from liquid to gas. So change of state from liquid to gas. Then fractional distillation. So if you remember, I have drawn that figure of furnace. In that we were separating the substances from the crude oil. So for fractional distillation we will see, means we will write obtaining diesel from the crude oil. And last one, distillation, very simple, separating salt and water from their mixture is the answer. Next question you have, question number 5. It is answer the following question. In that, first question is asked, how will you find the boiling point of water? Means you have to explain if you want to find what is exactly boiling point of water, or we know that boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, but if we want to verify, how we will do that? So I will explain you how to find the boiling point of water. This is very simple experimental setup. What you have to do, take one beaker like this, put it on stand, and take one burner to heat it, and also with the help of stand you can put one thermometer inside the beaker. Now you have to see that the ball of the thermometer will lie inside the water level. So this is a simple setup. What you will do, just heat the water which is inside the beaker, and you can also stir it with the help of stirrer. Means you have to mix it, means you have to rotate the water so that the temperature throughout the water will be uniform. So you will see that while heating, slowly the temperature of the thermometer will rise, means the mercury level will rise, and at 100 degrees Celsius you will see that water will start converting into vapor, and also you can see big bubbles which will come from the bottom surface to the topmost surface of the water in the beaker. So in this way we will find the boiling point of the water. Now next question you have, if we leave the candle, how will it appear? The question is, you have to explain the appearance of the candle when we lit it. This is very simple. Just I will show you. Suppose this is the candle. When we burn it, slowly, the wax which is near the flame will start melting. Like this, it will come down and some part will remain here only. So firstly, because of the lower melting point of the wax will convert into liquid state. So first convert is from solid to liquid, and the liquid which is here, means which not came down, the small amount of liquid will get converted into gaseous state and it will form carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide while burning. So that's why the shape of the candle will definitely change. So here we will say that while burning the candle, the wax got converted into liquid and again into solid. So two processes happen here. The process of conversion from solid to liquid and again from liquid to gas. The next question we have, can we separate a solid substance from the solvent by the process of distillation? The answer is yes, definitely. For example, the solid, let us take the common salt, it is a solid. If we are dissolving that solid into water, so we got the solution. So we can distill it, means we can perform the process of distillation and we can obtain salt separately and water separately. So the answer is yes, we can separate the solid and solvent from the mixture. So in this way, here we complete our chapter. Write your answer in proper words, means proper scientific words, and also you have to write your answer point wise so that you will not lose your marks, and also draw perfect diagrams and label it properly. So here we complete our chapter.